This car has over 600,000 miles and was abandoned for over a decade. And I bought it without fully inspecting it, which is a huge risk, especially with knowing it was abandoned for over a decade. But with huge risk come big rewards. And maybe you're like me, you look at this car and think it doesn't look that bad considering the mileage. Looking at it from here, it looks like it just needs a paint job and minor repairs. But this car has a lot of gremlins that make it a difficult rebuild. So far, we've restored the suspension, the brakes, replaced the ground wires, repaired the distributor leak, swapped out the spark plug wires, and returned the shifter feel back to new again. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try to do is get this hood off because I have the light right above the hood and I'm not able to get any lighting in here. Even though I do have portable lights, I'd rather use that light the most I can. So I'm going to take the hood off and then get started. I wasn't sure if I should have done this by myself, but I got through it. If you go ahead and go back in the video and then come back to this point, you'll see the difference in lighting. Now we can see a lot better with that light there. So first I'm gonna get the valve cover off, the spark plug wires that I just installed, and this strap and stuff, and then work the rest of it. So I got the valve cover off. The engine looks pretty good, I mean, for its age. I did notice that the valve cover gasket, even though it wasn't leaking, was about to fail. It was leaking into the spark plug holes. So next step, I'm gonna take off the timing cover, support the engine, loosen the motor mount and the belts, and then we'll get a look at what the belt looks like, the water pump, all of that. Let's get to it. So the timing cover is divided in two pieces. So let's go ahead and get the top part off so we can take a look. So I got the upper timing belt cover off. I just wanted to get a general idea of what it looked like. So I'm gonna start on the bottom, the belts, and then I will support the engine so we can loosen up the engine mount and then finally be able to get to the timing belt and the water pump. Here we go. So I'm going to start by loosening the damper and then the belt. So I got the timing belt cover off. I haven't loosened this yet. I haven't done many timing belts. Most of my cars have usually been timing chains, but this seems pretty loose here. I got it to the point where I could like get it off that pulley. This looks really, I don't know, this does not look right to me. So good thing we got this off. Hopefully this really helps out with the idle. I'm just gonna support the engine, loosen this up, take this out, loosen up this bolt here, remove these and then flip it up just so I can get the belt off and then do the rest of the work in there. So I was just about to jack up the engine and I remembered that I had said I was gonna remove these two bolts on the top and the one on the side and kind of just flip the engine mount over. But then I remembered I'm not going to reuse these engine mounts and I'm going to repair them. So I need to fully remove it. So I'm just going to go ahead and jack up the engine and pull this one out. So I got the motor mount out and I can actually get the belt out of there. Here's the actual motor mount. You can see how bad it actually was. So like I said, I'm just going to clean this up and then we're going to fill this in. So I just finished adding all the polyurethane adhesive into here. Just going to wait for it to dry. And then I'm just going to go on and finish up the timing belt and water pump now. And then get this installed so we can finish that side. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the 3 bolts holding in the water pump. And then hopefully we can catch most of the coolant, not make a mess. So there's 3 bolts and then there's just one over here that was actually holding in the cover. I'm gonna set this one aside, remove the 3, remove the water pump, replace it, keep going. So let's go ahead and get this water pump out. It's only 3 bolts, so it's really easy. So here's a side-by-side of the 2 water pumps. I'm not really sure which one is better than the other. This one kind of has like a stamped metal impeller. This one looks like cast aluminum. The blades are a little wider on this one than this one. But yeah, I'm just gonna reinstall this and then keep going with the timing belt. And the timing belt is on, and wow, what a difference. Look at this. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the video, this thing was so loose. and I thought it was the tensioner, but the tensioner seemed pretty fine. I mean, it made a little bit of noise, but it still wasn't loose. Then I thought maybe it's the spring. It was not the spring. I just believe that timing belt was so old, it was so stretched out that no matter how much tension was on it, it just wouldn't tighten up. So this is looking real good. Everything is lined up. Water pump is installed, so I'm just gonna go ahead and install the cover and then go ahead and install the motor mount. But before that, we need to take care of something else. So now with the timing belt and water pump done, I can move on to making this look new again, the valve cover, and reinstalling this. And then once that's done, I will bleed the brakes and then we start up the engine and see where we're at. Oh, and I'll change the oil and the spark plugs before I do that. So here I just cleaned up the valve cover and I'm gonna go ahead and add some paint remover and then prep it for paint. I'm gonna go ahead and give it that original crinkle paint. But first, let's go check on the motor mount that's been drying for a few days. So here's the top engine mount that I refilled. Pretty solid. It's been drying for I don't know how many days, 4 5 days now, so it should be good to go ahead and reinstall in here. That way I can take the jack out from underneath the engine. Once that's done, I'll finish up the valve cover, and when this is done, then we'll just go ahead and put this back on the cylinder head, and then we can fire up the engine and see if I did a good job with the timing or if the motor is going to blow up. And there you go, the engine mount is replaced. Now all I need to do is finish the valve cover, let's change the oil, spark plug, and then we can start this thing up again, see how it runs. Hopefully it doesn't explode. So here I have the valve cover, starting it up with the crinkle paint. This is the first coat. I'm just gonna do 2 more and heat it up with the heat gun and then sand down the lettering and the logo to get it looking right. And here's that second coat. Got something stuck there. I had to pull it off. And here's that third coat. Here I am with the heat gun. You can see the paint start to wrinkle. I had to do a little touch up there. And now we're done. So it's still drying. Just need to sand that down, take tape off, and install it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the spark plugs now while we wait for the valve cover gasket to arrive tomorrow. Spark plugs are installed. Still waiting for the valve cover to dry. I'm gonna try to take off this exhaust manifold heat shield. Let's see if I can clean this up. Okay, so finally got that out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint it black again or silver. I mean, most modern cars come silver. I might just do black again, keep it looking original. Okay, so the valve cover is done now. You can see we got the wrinkle texture. I sanded down the letters. Just gonna go ahead and reinstall that and then change the oil and then try starting this thing up. So I got this kit for the valve cover. Everywhere local it's about 42, 43 bucks. And I got this on Amazon, shipped overnight. I got it around 8 o'clock in the morning for 20 bucks. So go Amazon. This valve cover gasket is pretty straightforward. Just put it on there and tighten up the bolts and then go ahead and get the spark plug wires back on. I was going to change the oil first before I try to start the engine, but I know it has oil. I want to make sure everything's good and actually get the engine up to temperature before I change the oil. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect everything back and clean up the engine bay and then try to restart it and see if it doesn't blow up from being out of timing or anything like that. So here I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the negative battery cable, and I noticed I forgot to attach the ground strap, but whatever. Let's go ahead and get this started. Guys, this engine is idling amazing right now. It's not even shaking anymore. I don't know if you remember from the first video where you could see the engine actually shaking. And that's just a combination of the timing belt that was loose that I replaced and the engine mount that I rebuilt. Engine running right now. I think it's a good time to go ahead and try to get these coolant hoses installed. So I got the first silicone hose on. We're using the original clamps here. I was gonna replace this hose, which looks pretty easy to get to from up here. But when you look down, it looks like it runs underneath the fan, so I might have to remove the fans to get to that one. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to be able to get to that one today. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Please remember to go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll see you next time. That back on the valve. Forget that. Erase that. Delete that. I'll get the brakes bleed. Forget that. You look at this car and think it doesn't have, and maybe you're like me. You look at this, go ahead and hit the comment. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and finish the And on that note, please go ahead and subscribe. Like, what the hell am I doing?